still in the house.
Happened. The first thing he said was that he got the whole thing on video, so he showed us.
You did? See, when we used to play this game as a kid, make sure my mic turned up. When we used to play this game as a kid, we didn't call it Ding Dong Ditch. Some of y'all probably know I'm about to take this. However, I know what it is though because it's two different names. I said same game, different name. We used to call it Ninja Knocking, but except not ninja, the other N word. You know, we used to call it Ninja Knocking, whatever. And I googled it, and yes, it came up with the same thing. It was like also sometimes referred to as Ding Dong Ditch. Basically the same thing, but either way it go. These are the ones that I don't see how it can be scary. Usually end up being like my favorite ones when it comes to Mr. Nightmare. I can't see how Ding Dong Ditch or Ninja Knocking could be scary because if I run up to your door, boom, 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 punch it, kick it, whatever you want to do, whatever, and run, the most that can happen is you chase me out that mode. And it's so scary being chased by somebody. I don't know what it is when you run from someone and you just feel like behind you want to grab you, whatever. But other than that, like, what could be scary? I mean, unless you step on a bear trap. I don't know. Either way, go by the check out 3 True Ding Dong Ditch Horror Stories, aka Ninja Knocking. Want to check out the original video? Link in the description below. But let's go, bro. I was a pro at this game too. We used to be quiet. We used to do this all the time.
One questionable activity my old friends and I would partake in when we were young was Ding Dong Ditch, where you run up to someone's door, knock or ring the bell, then run away or hide. We'd do it from time to time when we were feeling mischievous or bored. At the time, someone moved across the street from my friend Stefan, who lived a block down from me. He kept telling us how sketchy it seemed. No one would ever see them leave their house. The blinds were always closed at every window, and there were never any lights on. Yet there was always a red Toyota pickup truck in the driveway all hours of the day. No one really seemed to know who was living there or what they looked like. So one night we thought it would be a good idea to target it while we were out Ding Dong Ditching. My friend Jake and I hid behind a nearby car while Stefan ran up to the door. We could tell he rang the bell like 5 times, and we chuckled because of it. He finally ran for cover in a bush separating that property from the neighboring property. We waited for the door to open, but alas, it never did. So Stefan ran back to the door and rang it a bunch more times, probably closer to like 10 rings this time.
Damn, go!
As he ran for his same hiding spot, I noticed the curtains to one of the front windows move a little bit. I didn't see anyone's face, but that confirmed someone was inside the house. The door never opened. Jake and I were afraid to yell over to him not to do it again.
Oh,
Stefan never looked over at us, so he never even gave us a chance to wave at him to stop there.
Stefan, come on!
He waited half a minute before going back to the door. But I swear, before he could even ring the bell, the door pulled open, and all Jake and I saw was someone's arm reach out from the house to grab Stefan. He screamed a high-pitched scream like a girl. Jake and I looked at each other with horrified looks on our faces. Stefan managed to break free from the
I love the way like how Jake is, or me and Jake leave each other. Charlie wouldn't even been on the scene. As soon as I saw the blind move, you would have saw me running down the street like this. Stefan would have looked at me and got the hint, like, bro, Charlie dipped out. Obviously, something is wrong, clown.
And continued screaming as he ran past us across the street to his house. The front door to the house slammed shut. No one came out chasing after us.
Is this people invisible?
We followed Stefan to his house, and as soon as we got inside, I told him that was a horrible idea. Now that person would know they were neighbors. But he said he didn't care. He told his parents about it, who at first were mad at us, but sounded a bit concerned after some explaining about the aggressive way the man inside the house tried pulling him in.
Well, get off his porch!
Still, neither of his parents wanted to go knock on the door,
Hell no.
considering we were Ding Dong Ditching after all. Jake went home. I stayed over Stefan's house to sleep over. His parents always complained about us being too loud after they went to sleep, so we hung out in his backyard. We were playing Pokemon on our DSs for a while and talked more about what happened across the street. He said he didn't see much of the man's face, and he was pretty well hidden behind the door, but he could tell it was a man by his veiny hands and strength. The man grabbed him by the collar of his shirt, so Stefan was able to free himself from the man's grip pretty easily.
Shit.
At some point while in the yard, I remember hearing a thump kind of noise.
Oh,
but I didn't even feel like it was worth bringing up to Stefan. I just made a mental note of it, and maybe he did too, who knows. Eventually it got too chilly to sit outside anymore, and we were getting a little tired, so we went back inside.
Now he owns to y'all that.
We noticed it was a lot chillier on the first floor than it had been before we went outside.
Damn window open.
Stefan realized why fairly quickly. The sliding dining room window was open all the way, and a breeze of cold air was pouring in. But his parents definitely didn't open that. Something wasn't right.
Mother!
There was the sound of a footstep or something falling on the carpeted floor above us in Stefan's room. It set him off screaming for his parents. The house has a very open layout, so of course they heard him and came rushing out.
Oh,
of
y'all
their
got
room,
guns.
confused and worried as hell. We pointed at the open window, then said someone's in his room upstairs. His dad ran downstairs to grab the biggest kitchen knife they had and ran back upstairs as we all waited in fear for something to happen upstairs. His mom hugged us and tried to comfort us while she called the police.
The dang gonna do nothing to get off of me.
Stefan's dad started to scream. Not like a scared scream or a scream out of pain, but more so an angry scream. We waited downstairs.
I thought he meant like a biatch scream, like ah! Alright, well, Stefan daddy ain't no good.
The cops showed up, and they went up to Stefan's room. What actually happened is so disturbing. As anyone could guess, the break-in point was the window. Stefan's dad checked his son's room and heard something in the closet. Upon opening it, someone tried to lunge at him. He immediately got one good stab in the person.
Oh, good.
What we found out minutes later was that it was the neighbor from across the street.
Duh.
How we knew was because Stefan instantly recognized the white sleeves he was wearing and the scabs on his hand. The man was as scary looking as we imagined. Stefan's family got a restraining order against the man and refused to live across the street from him any longer. They moved within a few months to a house in the same town.
Imagine, even though your son started the crowd, but imagine like just kids playing ding dong ditch. I get it, kids do kid stuff, but that legit pee your neighbor off to the point where he just want to freaking kill you. If that was the case, that means hell of my neighbors would want to kill me. Cause look, I'm sorry, look, we did that a lot. I remember we took it up, we kicked it up a notch. I don't know if y'all know where like M80s are, like firecrackers, like black cats, M80, all that stuff. We used to say M80s, and we're like, cause I don't like our houses. Well, I noticed in Texas and Arizona, a lot of mailboxes are like on the street, but in Michigan, like a lot of them are on the house. Like if this is the front of your house, your mailbox is attached to your house right here. So like we used to walk into them, put it in M80 or like the black cats, but we wouldn't even separate the black cats. We keep them all together. I don't know if you know what those are, firecrackers. Light it, put it in the mailbox, and run. And all you hear in your front porch is like it's like somebody shoot. I know, the hell is stupid. I was a kid. Do not judge me. That's all you hear ever. But it'd be like, as a kid, it was the funniest crap ever. But when you think about like, yo, we could have scared the snot out of people. People could have probably thought their house was getting shot at or something, whatever. But look, I was a dumb kid. I done many stupid things I tell you guys about all the time. I'm sorry. Okay, I was a kid. I want to hear a good one. I want to hear somebody get caught. Like, get your ass in here.
This is a story that happened a few days ago. My friends and I really like to do some crazy things such as ding-dong ditching, which is what we were doing on Friday night. I'll refer to my friends as C,
we used to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we ain't give a damn.
There was this one corner house on an opening to a cul-de-sac. My friend E said I should ring the bell. So I did it because I was not the kind of person to not do something just because I might get in trouble for it. So I walked up to the stoop and knocked on the door and ran. We ran maybe 3 houses down behind a car so we could still get a good view of the house we just did. The guy came outside, walked around, and I think spotted either myself, E, or Ben. So he screamed hey at us, and we ran like normal at this point. We all laughed it off like we usually would. Then we all agreed like a bunch of idiots that we would do the same house again. So we walked around.
If he know this, obviously he's waiting. You think he went back in the house and sat down and started eating chips and watching TV? No! Clown.
The street to the house, and we all debated who should ring. I didn't because I just did like the last 3 houses.
Hell no, I'm not even going
so
back.
We all agreed Ben should do it. So there went Ben up to the door, knocked, and ran.
He already waiting.
C, B, and A were on the corner of the street along with Ben after he rang, while me and E were behind a car right across the street from the house.
Man, he behind that car.
It was like he was waiting right at the door, because only about 5 seconds after Ben rang the bell, he came sprinting outside.
Told you, dummy.
He got to the bottom of his driveway and screamed, "Hey, come here. Come here now." That was my cue to run, so I sprinted as fast as I could to the corner and around the block. I kept on sprinting until I caught up to Ben, C, A, and B. We had walked about the whole street gathering our thoughts when A pointed out that E was missing. We all looked at each other, obviously very worried for him. We called him, and he picked up out of breath and was demanding us to go back to the house because he was chasing him. So we went about halfway down the street, still on the phone with E, and then he dropped the bomb.
You better run!
The man had a gun.
Clown.
I knew this because E said he heard the man scream, "I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out." I actually began to tear up, and we were all very worried for E.
I bet your ass ain't playing nigga knocking no more. I bet ninja knocking no more. I bet that was the last day of that game. Like, nah, bro.
After about 5 minutes of E telling us to go back to the house,
You gotta
we
tell
made
me
it to
twice.
E's backyard and waited for E to make it back.
E woke up
He was
dead.
very close,
I hope
so
not.
we walked out of the backyard, and there he was.
E, you're the man.
We all hugged him, and were so grateful he was okay. We all went to A's backyard afterwards to
Go
tell
in
him
the
what
house.
happened. The first thing E said was that he got the whole thing on video, so he showed us.
You did? Oh shit. Why are you still not right? Oh, this is good, Mr. Nightmare. Why are you still? He said his cue to runs when he got close. As soon as my boy used to, I'm gone. Oh, this might be. Look, he's still sitting here. He probably threw the camera. Oh shit. Oh shit. Where you going, bro? He coming for me. Oh goddamn, he come.
Hey, come here now.
Oh, that shit! Whoa! Oh, shit!
Hey, come here now. Come here now. Come here.
Oh, Mr. Nightmare, you just stepped it up a notch on this one. Oh, this is too good. They show proof. You done running already, boy?
So what happened that I was completely unaware of was that when I ran away from behind the car, the man started chasing me. Then E apparently got up and ran the opposite way, kind of putting the man in a pickle as to who he wanted to go after.
Long as it ain't me.
He chose E.
I'm sorry.
And he ran from him almost all the way down the street before hiding under a car until he felt.
I mean, low key though, my guy's slow. I'd have burnt out on that boy.
He chose E, and he ran from him almost all the way down the street
Oh, man,
before hiding under a car until he felt it was safe to run back. This was the most insane night of my life, and I couldn't thank E enough, because if it weren't for him, who knows what that guy would have done to me if he had caught up.
Man, if he would have caught you, hopefully it was one of those ones like if he'd have caught you, he'd basically just and start fearing you, like I should do this, blah blah blah. You better do it, like stuff like that. Usually that's what people do to kids. But some people crazy these days. Stories we hearing about ain't no telling if he'd have really done what he was talking about or not. But it's like that's why you gotta be careful because you don't know what people are capable of. You don't know what people are going through. I get it. Kids do stuff like this. Blah, fucking English. I was one of those kids. And like us, bro. It wasn't even like not like we used like these. Like this your door. I'm like these, like this. Look, I'm like this. Y'all ready? Boom, boom. With my foot and dick, I'm checking. But the thing is, when we used to do it, soon as the knock happened, we all taking off. We're not waiting to watch till somebody come out. If you come out, you come out. If you don't, you don't. Soon as that first knock, boom, everybody's gone. If you want to do the knocking, you probably do like a couple more, but then you out. We ain't doing no 10, like how he said his boy did like 10. Nah. Soon as we doing boom, like how he was waiting behind that car and saw my guy coming out. Like, bro, he going that way. He ain't chasing him. Oh, he coming after me, bro. I'd have been gone, bro. Look, no. I'm gone, bro. First knock. Hey, this is dope, though, because
I was a very sheltered child, and I didn't really start going out until college, really. High school, I kind of never really went out much.
I was always out.
So when the opportunity to do something slightly rebellious came about, I would jump on it. My cousin Rob, who was infinitely cooler than me, would hang out with me in my days before college. He'd always be down to go out and get into trouble.
Yep.
There was this one time he called me and told me to meet him at his house.
That would start all the trouble.
We'd be going ding-dong ditching. I brought along my flashlight just because it was dark and there weren't many streetlights in my old neighborhood. He also brought along 2 walkie-talkies and handed me one. Houses were also a little further between than your typical suburb. Rob led the way down the road, yelling things, hitting stop signs with his hand.
See, this might be harder to do in the suburbs, though. We always did in the hood. Because the suburbs houses, they are really separated. So if somebody do come out and chase me, I ain't got nowhere to split. I'm running. It's gonna be like a good 10 seconds running before I even touch another house. But the hood house is so close, I can go through between houses. I can hop gates. I can go. You can go more places, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed like it'd be a little harder.
Rob led the way down the road, yelling things, hitting stop signs with his hands. He always had a lot more energy than me. We veered off the street and cut through some trees onto someone's property. There was nothing but a single walkway lamp on.
No, you don't go down that
No
street.
lights on inside or outside the house. Rob told me to run around back and wait for his signal to ring the backyard bell. He was trying to make the homeowner run back and forth, not knowing where to go.
And
We
what if you
tested the
stick to me?
walkie-talkies and they were all good. I waited in the backyard of this property. It was extremely dark and quiet back there. To be honest, I was really scared. Rob gave the go-ahead to ring right after he rang the bell a bunch of times. I rang it twice, then ran for cover behind a bush. I waited in that bush and walkie-talkied Rob, seeing if anyone had come out front. Negative.
Rob gonna say something and he gonna...
I told him it was looking the same in the back. After a minute, he told me to go to the back door. I looked into the huge back window to see if I could see inside.
He already looking
There
at
was
you.
this tall-looking piece of furniture right in front of the window.
No, that's a man.
And there was this red flashing light in one corner of the room. That was about all I could see.
A beam.
Rob rang the bell a bunch of times again. I heard it from where I was crouching. It was my turn. I rang the bell a couple times, which, yes, had a different sound, so
He
you
gonna
could
shoot.
distinguish the two. I ran back to my bush and waited again. Rob said over the walkie-talkie that nothing was happening.
Then go switch
It was the
houses.
same on my...
You don't stay like that. You don't do it like that because some people don't panic react like that. So if when you knock on some people's doors, some people like, oh, let me, if they don't know what's going on, or if you're beating hard, they're gonna get the gun and they're peeping out the scene, they looking. Clown. Not everybody gonna open the door. Hey, who is it? It's this. I got that red light he's in the corner is a beam. That man about to pop one of these boys.
Rob said over the walkie-talkie that nothing was happening.
Oh, something about to happen.
It was the same on my end. Why wasn't anyone answering? But I did think I could see something moving from inside the window, though.
That's so you crawl
Something
away.
small.
It's a dog.
I told Rob over the walkie-talkie. He said I should just check it out with my flashlight. So, trying to be...
Rob is not a good cousin. Rob is setting you up for death. Clown.
I told Rob over the walkie-talkie. He said I should just check it out with my flashlight.
You check it out.
Trying to be cool, I did. I flicked on the light as I got closer to the back window. And when the light shone through the window, it revealed that tall object on the other side of the window wasn't a piece of furniture. It was some creepy-looking smiling man. And the thing I saw moving was his waving hand.
Oh, what the
He walked away from the window at an unsettlingly quick speed and arrived at the back door. He opened it and started approaching me with this horrific speed-walking kind of as he was asking me to come inside.
Hell no.
I dropped the walkie-talkie and screamed and ran for Rob.
Rob gone.
He met me in the front of the house, and we saw the man from the back quickly approaching the two of us in the same speed-walking pace.
What kind of man is
What
this?
made it even worse was he didn't say anything else. We ran back to Rob's house, whose parents were already asleep.
I'd have darted
We
to
were
the front
catching
door.
our breath in his basement when the beep of the walkie-talkie went off. There was a breathing
Break it.
from the other walkie-talkie. Then an old man's voice whispering, "Where are you kids? I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want to give you your walkie-talkie."
LAPD, sir. I've been trying to lie, like, bro. You got the wrong walkie-talkie, my guy.
You kids. I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want to give you your walkie-talkie.
Nah, I'm good. It's from the dollar
The fact
store
that the
anyway.
frequency was reaching us in a basement meant he was close.
Break
It
it.
was the scariest part. We turned off the walkie-talkie out of fear and turned off all the lights. In case you're thinking this was some sweet, innocent man trying to be nice.
No, I don't think that.
There's no chance. He was literally chasing us, and he had this look about him that screamed child predator. We were young, but we were definitely smart enough to realize he may have been after us because of our age.
Duh.
We never told our parents, though,
I hate
because
that.
they would have grounded us just for going out dink.
You worried about... This man almost took the booty and you worried about getting grounded? Those are the times you really want to say something. I hate when the story is like, yeah, he tried to kill me, XYZ, but I didn't tell nobody because I didn't want to get in trouble. That's the last thing I'm worried about.
And ditching. It was just a disturbing memory we'd have to deal with.
I told
We
my
were
mama
lucky
and my
we
dad.
got away okay, though.
Bro, them last two though. Hey, Mr. Nightmare, that was hella dope. I think it was the first time I watched where you actually show like actual footage of the story. Because when he said like, my friend said he recorded blah 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 XYZ, I'm just like, is he about to show it? And then went into like mode of like, oh, we about to watch this story that we just heard. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is so dope. But at the same time, like, my hairs were standing up. But the thing, like, when my guy knocked on the door and ran, like, to the left, and I saw my guy come out running to the right, I'm like, oh my God, you are big dead. The dude who knocked, puberty, dude who knocked, he's good. It's a GG. He is gone. But once I saw him coming, I was like, oh my God, he went around right. I guess he said the right of the car, and he said something. That's when he spotted him. Man, when I say I would have big panic, I would have big freaking panic, bro. And I would have been darting down the street, bro. But yo, hey, this was hella good. I think by him including the actual footage, like, legit pushes him over and over for me. I was like, oh, that is so freaking dope. Because it gave that scary feel even more. But if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, guys. You guys are awesome. But till next time, buddies, Charlie's out.